this episode and you're seeing my face. What is going on? Well, if you saw my on location video I did that should have been released before this, you know I'm sitting in my room here in San Diego, California, one of the best cities in this country. It's San Diego. To quote the great Louis Black, the easiest job to have is to be the weatherman in San Diego, California. What's the weather like today, Dave? Nice. Back to you. This is my yearly trip. This is my Mecca. I've been coming here since 1994. Comic-Con runs thick with my blood. It's got a special place in my heart. My father and I would bring me here when I was a little boy, and I've kept that tradition going on ever since. This is technically my 30th Comic-Con, not counting the 2 years we lost with COVID, but the 30th show I have attended. So I'm a 41-year-old man, and I get giddy like a little boy when this time of year comes around because it's Comic-Con. There's a bunch of other cons, but there's no con like Comic-Con. So, but I'm not talking about Comic-Con in itself. I'm talking about exclusives, and today we're digging into some of the exclusives I got from the Super 7 pop-up. Most notably, we're looking at the Super Kaiju, Thirsty for Blood Godzilla. So you have to excuse my lighting here. I have other people in this room with. I can't have every light on, so the lighting's gonna look a little janky, and this might not be my normal setup. So besides that, so Super Kaiju, I've reviewed a couple of these already these are usually the Target exclusives. I believe Target is selling this online as well, so I picked mine up at the Godzilla Station. It was, of all the exclusives, this was one of the ones I was very curious about because this line has been weirdly hit and miss. So, let me fix that. There we go. Turn that off. Okay. So, this is the Godzilla 98 version, but they call it the comic book version. This is the Dark Horse one. Of course, we got the classic Art Adams artwork on the back. More from that first comic book. And then, it's very cool. As you can see, it's got like a gloss to it. So, packaging on this is better than most of the packaging they put on these Super Kaijus, but it's still a Super Kaiju, so is it any different? So the 89, I believe, was the first one they released, but this one has the very cool paint job that was redone for it. So we're gonna crack this guy open and see how he stands up, especially in comparison to the Ultimate version they did 2 years ago that you can go back on our video archives. I reviewed that, opened that guy up too, but let me crack this open and we'll be right back. Okay, so first impression. This is, it's a repaint, and it is got box stiffness like a mother on here. So if you've watched my other reviews of the Super Kaiju, I was a little perplexed by this line. I get why they're doing it, because the Ultimates are very expensive, and if you're doing them at a retail box store, you're probably not going to move many units at the cost of $84 per figure, but busting down the actual figures into something a little more affordable, there you go. But the issues I had with these, and I've said in other videos, is that the tails, this single piece, because you don't have to do any molding, and it's just kind of on there, and and so you got the full mobility, but this thing's got box stiffness. But how's the paint job? Well, paint job's actually not bad. Let me zoom in here a little bit for you. It's got a lot better paint job than the actual original release, but as you can tell, this is a mass-produced figure. for Target. Again, I believe you can buy this at target.com right now. But he's got that Dark Horse paint job to him. Sorry, there's a lot of zooming in this video. He comes with a piece of rubble, as the other ones did. So, you might be asking, is it worth it? I mean, I paid $35 for this. That's a good question. If you're a deep cuts person like I am, then yeah, it would be worth it, because that Ultimates version, which was also another repaint of their 89 figure, but it was a much better repaint. They actually fixed a couple of issues with that figure when they released it here at Comic-Con, and you got a little Art Adams guy with it. It's cool. I love it to death. I'm never getting rid of that guy. This one is, it's cool. I like that they went back and gave the Dark Horse version like some more love. I mean, if you look, it is basically the Heisei versions, the late 90s or mid 90s. So it makes sense to do this. Let me get a little closer. So the eyes are painted much better. He's got the blood around the mouth and the nose. Kind of wish to put a little bit on the eyes, but I would say the paint job on the face is far superior to the original release. But as you can see, like, there's got some of the seams issues, but again, this is not meant to be like a high-end figure. This is a mass-produced figure, but there's a little bit of the molding still on there. That's interesting. Oh no, I'm an idiot. That's the spikes on the tails. So no, that's supposed to be there. That's the only thing. I don't like the tails on these guys. They got the wire in there, and the wire is always kind of, and I get why they did it. I'm not saying like, oh, they're terrible for doing it. It's a cost cutting measure, and I'm not saying that in a negative connotation. It's to bring costs down, because if you're going to segment a whole tail, like there's more tooling. That's a lot more stuff that has to be done. As a Comic-Con exclusive, it's pretty fun. If you didn't get a hold of the original one, this is perfectly fine. I mean, this guy stands at 5.5 inches. The only competitor to him right now is what Bandai Namco is doing with their line, and I believe the 895 and Destroyer are on their way out like stateside right now, so I'm hoping by the end of next month I'll have those in full reviews. But this isn't bad. Like, again, go back and watch my earlier videos on these reviews. I felt that the -1 that just came out about 2 months ago was the better figure. So this is still the first gen, and they're still kind of figuring things out. The -1 was a lot better, and much like things I've seen with Super 7, the first ones out the gate, they're kind of learning the curve, and then they get exponentially better. That Destroyer Ultimate is one of my absolute favorite figures of all time, of anything that's done. In my opinion, it blows whatever Monster Arts did out the water, because you get a full figure. It's an action figure. It's like 8.5 inches. It's huge. It's got weight. It's cool. This though, this is like, you want to give something to your kid. This is perfect for kids. It's at $35. It's still asking a lot, but I get it. They're a smaller company. These are made in smaller numbers, so you can't really turn a profit at asking $19.99, especially the way the economy is right now. So I know some of you are going to be like, well, that's a lot. It is what it is, man. This is the world we live in. Like, Marvel's charging or Hasbro's charging $25 to $30 for a Marvel figure. So if you're complaining about this, the toy industry in general it's not the same place it was. And not only that, but you're aiming at adult collectors. So this is perfect for kids. I would say absolutely perfect for kids. It is just a repaint. It's a better repaint, in my opinion. Again, it's a good, fully posable figure. I would say if you buy one of these, take a hairdryer to it for about 10 minutes, loosen those joints up. But beyond that, it's fun. If you weren't around for the Dark Horse comics, those are a cornerstone, because again, it's one of the few American related Godzilla media. So I have a soft spot for anything that dark, like anybody's doing anything Dark Horse, man, you have my money. It doesn't matter. But yeah, it's perfectly fine. It's fun. It's got the exact same issues as the original run, where I was, and I'm not going to sit here and just dog on it. Go watch that video if you want my full opinion. But for Comic-Con exclusive, I'm not complaining. All right, guys. Well, that is my review of the Super 7 Super Kaiju Godzilla Thirsty for Blood Dark Horse figure. Remember, if you like what you see, we do have a show. It's called The Kaiju Kingdom Podcast. You can find us at thekaijukingdompodcast.com. And if you don't like to download, well, you can always stream us on all of your favorite podcasts streamers, including Apple, Spotify, or wherever else you find better podcasts. We're also on social media. We're on X, we're on Instagram, we're on Facebook.com. Follow us on there. You should be seeing this while Comic-Con's going on. We're posting everything that's coming out of there. As I'm recording this, it's only Wednesday, so there's going to be a lot by the time the show's done. And on that note, that will do it for this edition of the Koffers. Thanks for watching, guys. We'll see you next time.